Rings. Thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast of we call it pushing an envelope a little bit. Do that in the past. Sometimes I take it easy on it. So I've been doing some of the Jesus channelings or tapping into that timeline, and doing so, you find some figures in our history or current reality of manipulating our timeline. So I look at the televangelists energies. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to go into any of that. Of course, one of them's in Lakewood. It's Lakewood, Houston. Yeah, that's like an obvious manipulation. When these televangelists say like that they're talking to God and praying to God, what kind of God are they tapping into? It's like, is that God a demonic being? Answer is yes. That's a really powerful demonic energy that these guys are tapping into, giving them prosperity, mind controlling the audience. And obviously, it pays well. But Marduk keeps coming through. I'm not looking for Marduk. But when it's happened to these I'm not looking for the televangelists either. I kind of get directed towards that. And I keep seeing Marduk there. And not of the best. I mean, obviously, there might be some good energy there at Marduk somewhere, probably. But feels like Marduk is doing Marduk things. And they're not good things. And of course, he's like king of the gods of Babylon. And you move that towards our so-called gods we're, praying to now, according to some of these televangelists. Because I don't think these gods are good gods. These guys are connected to, and you have a lot of televangelists out there. Just the modern ones that we have currently. Even Billy Graham, I think some of that's messed up too. But it's I don't know how we're supposed to heal something like that. It would be nice if some of these beings would come out of hiding and we get to see them. These parasite beings calling themselves God. That would be ideal. But most likely we're not on those timelines. It would freak people out, but we're supposed to say, look, we were right. Instead, it's just, it's more messed up than people might think, or some of that are aware of it. Obviously, this is nothing new that I'm bringing up, but it's coming up recently, and it is kind of serious. I mean, it just shows the mind control over. I talked about this ages ago too, but I'm kind of resurfacing a little bit of how Anunnaki. It's not just Anunnaki. Anunnaki has some good. It's not all bad. Some of them are part of the soap operas of like Spanish-speaking soap operas. A lot of that's Anunnaki. I'm not sure if that's good or not, but anyway, yeah, Anunnaki has some energy there. Some of they're kind of funny. Yeah, they have like just the drama within their species. They're just like a bunch of beautiful people that can't get their act together. That's part of the Anunnaki. And also the Anunnaki is connected to like a feminine energy, kind of like a male feminine of Stargate. The movie Stargate, the alien being in that, has a lot of Anunnaki. Basically, it just looks like a male, but the male looks like a female, basically. That's some Anunnaki. Not all Anunnaki are like that, but obviously all different types of Anunnaki going forever for that. But like I said, when I connect to televangelists, I see the Marduk energy consuming, because they work through people. Now, this is for those that aren't either haven't heard about this in a long time, or it's probably nothing new to some people, but it's like a recap. But when you have the so-called God that these televangelists are connecting to, that's actually a demonic energy. that God is pulling the energy from people. It's like better than being a human. You're an entity, sucking the life out of people, bringing it to your essence. And yeah, you might do things for them here and there to keep them in the third dimension, to keep them programmed. So it's I think you said it's kind of sophisticated. It's evil as hell. Of course, then you have also the Queen that's doing the same thing. And then you have the Vatican doing the same thing without going into all details of everything. Well, that was the other thing. So, aside of Marduk, yeah, it's basically this is like okay, take Marduk out of the equation and just say this is some kind of parasite being. It's like this god is covered in gold. There's parts of it where it can look feline-like. The energy just changed doing this. I can feel the shift here. So obviously, this is not very popular talking about this. I'm an energy drain like a bastard going into this, but it's like I've just been led up to this. I'm not looking for it. Just sort of, you have to go to where it go. You have to go where you need to go, right? See if I survive the night. But yeah, it's like a golden energy, kind of like a parasite being that's just sucking the life out of people. And it might give people what they want to keep them part of mind control of the system. Is sophisticated stuff that's happening. People talk about the secret space program, and that's great. But there's other things that are just like happen in the modern world. They're just soul-sucking creatures. And people go to church every Sunday, give their power away. You can say it's on Fridays. It's very sophisticated energy. It's not the easiest thing to, I'm not trying to point fingers or anything. Of course, I might be doing that anyway, but I'm not trying to do that. But yeah, it's even there's some televangelists that literally look like demonic beings. Like I said, without going into details of that. I'm trying to stay on YouTube's side. It's not just on the YouTube side. It's just, trying to put some, I'm not trying to attack anybody or anything like that. But this so-called God that these televangelists are tapping into is probably not much of a god at all. It just says it is. Obviously, it's very powerful, arrogant, demonic, and it's like, why wouldn't it do it? It's like, I have the platform. Of course, I would do this. I was made for this. Damn. Is there any does it feel bad about it? No, because people are giving away their power. What does it care? It's like you're giving the people what they want. So it continues on until the people don't want it anymore. And that's why this continues on. It's just whatever works for you, right? So I'm not going to go too deep in a lot of. We'll see. It's time to talk about comic prep sessions. We have a schedule here. We have a shop. I think I'm finally getting into August a little bit. Same situation here. Webinar, social network. I forgot to post it behind the scenes. And whoops. That's not Marduk. Yeah, Marduk doesn't really have a whole lot of. Either way, it's the king of the gods. Has a little dragon next to him. Long little fingers, I guess. At least one hand has longer fingers than the other one. Is almost feel like he's holding like a tennis racket. Obviously, there's symbols of mind control around him. It feels like also he has another face behind his face. I mean, it's like there's two faces. Like you have the face here, and there's a face behind on his neck also. Got the best vibrations there. Where would there be? And it's more glorified. Of course, you have your televangelists. Like I say, praise the Lord. This one looks like a demon. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go on a bashing. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, I think you have the idea of that. So, obviously, it's a controversial energy, but like I say, use your intuition. It's just one point of view. You can have all these different points of view. Like I said, when these televangelists say they're connecting to God and you feel like a dark entity there instead, I don't think you're wrong. At least that's my opinion. And this is very powerful, but this still energies around these guys, also around the Queen, and also around the Vatican. Queen, people give away their power to the Queen. I don't know why they would do that. It's like you want to be enslaved. People like being enslaved. It's very interesting here. Yeah, this world is very. It's like it's part of the culture of being enslaved. It's like they just find someone to be their leader, and they just kind of live with it. It's very bizarre. It's like, why would you do that? And you wonder why this world doesn't have to be this hard either. It doesn't have to be. It's just that people give away their power so easily. They think these monarchs are like we're supposed to kiss their hand and all that. I don't get it. France went against that. I don't think they're still doing that. But England's still doing it, still kissing their hands. It's very bizarre. Still worshiping. I mean, even the Queen has some like Anunnaki energy there, but it's just very bizarre how people are they cry around the Queen. What has the Queen done for you? It's just it's just like a slave mentality. It's like built into their DNA from infancy. People are just not, I guess, sophisticated enough to break out of the program. It's not that sophisticated. But I guess when your DNA has just been programmed so deeply, it's hard to break out of that. It's very bizarre. And then when you go against it, obviously you go against the Queen, you go against the Vatican, usually you just get your head cut off. That's usually what happens in history. You're just a heretic and you're done. So yeah, nice being a heretic. At least you know where you are. Yeah, usually you don't get that far. I mean, I know I've done this before. Talked about this, and next thing you know, you're dead the next day. I'm not joking about kind of am, but that's usually how it works here. So, and you can say those that were, I mean, souls do get stuck here. And so they keep reincarnating over and over. That's what these Anunnaki gods and the other gods, the Greek gods, do the same thing. You get souls to be stuck here so they can be slaves. It works way too well. And breaking out of this, I don't know. I would say the goal here is for these so-called gods to be seen here. Obviously, they're not that stupid, but you never know. They might reveal themselves in some ways, but I think they're too arrogant to do that. Yeah, they're not going to make themselves. I mean, you have aliens that can show themselves. They won't do it. But like something like a Marduk type of being, like I said, it feels like it's like a golden being. It's kind of like a griffin, where it's like a combination of different beings, but definitely has a parasitic energy connected to it for obvious reasons. I mean, it acts like God. It does protect the people, but also manipulates the hell out of them at the same time. It's like, of course, these televangelists look like they're devils anyway. Devil in the suit. What is that the truth of it? So, like I said, those of us that go against this stuff usually don't live very long. Life expectancy, not long after you say stuff like that, or get banished or something like that from the country or something like that. So, I don't have any guidelines on that for this. So far, so good. So, anyway, I'm not trying to troll anybody or anything like that. So, all right. So what's happened to the energies of, I guess, Marduk, like more of a neutral side of it. And just, I mean, like I said, a being like Marduk just does what the hell he wants. Like, people are giving away their power. Why would you not take that up? Obviously, it's been manufactured to be that way. Yeah, you're manufacturing people to be slaves, which is working out beautifully. I'm not saying that in a good way, but I mean, if that all ended, we'll go to the next world that's messed up. Yeah, it's just really, I mean, people wonder what the challenges are here. It's just humanity just lays down really easily. It just lays down, just gives up their power. Just not everybody, but a good portion does that. Obviously, when you go against the system, you live a short life. So they just continue this. But I don't know how long it can continue itself like this. Who knows? A few thousand years more, 10,000 years, hard to say. So anyway, not to think too far into the future, get to Marduk's energy or some kind of neutral energy of that or somebody. The televangelist energy, I guess I can tap into some of that. Lovely. Yeah. It's like connecting the mud. Yeah, talk about some of the most powerful manipulative energies on the planet. It's working. It's just it's so, yeah, great. It's not great. So, all right. We'll see what we get here and roll with it from there. So, all right, blessings. Might connect to some angelic energies instead. We'll just see who comes through. So, all right. This is for educational purposes. Clear out the vibrations. Clear out any gods that are trying to manipulate. I'm not trying to send any gods to anybody. Those little parasite beings can go back to where they live. Yeah, it's kind of scary. People give their, they look at the queen. It's like this. Like they get vulnerable and start crying and all of that. It's like, what is that? It's like you shut down. So you are a slave after all. You don't have to be. It's I guess if it's a selling point, like if you say like you love the queen, all that, and you're selling hats or spiritual services, it still doesn't have a good energy around it. So anyway. Okay, all right, here we go. Blessings and positive vibrations, and let's hope for the best here. All right, blessings. Greetings to you. This is the consciousness of Marduk. There are many beings that want to control society that humans are learning from. So think of like these beings as teachers. You don't have to like it. They're not your teachers. They're teachers of others. It's basically these beings do enjoy being worshipped like any other celebrity. But these beings don't feel like they're doing anything wrong, even if they are. Some of them are abusing their power, as you can see. And this is how these beings are learning. But yeah, some people, they give away their power just like that. We can say the same thing with celebrities. Those people stay with that being for a very long time, like their version of God. There's always different types of gods, not just Marduk. Marduk's involved, but there's others that love to be worshipped. They want to be loved also. Well, they feel like they're a parent, and so they feel like they're getting guidance. And yes, there might be a dark overtone connected to it, but they see it as helping humanity, even if they are not exactly helping humanity to awaken to who's there. They don't like to be revealed. They want to stay in silence. They want to stay hidden. They must see as a god, but that's it. To put it as a god, a beautiful being, yes, might have some difficulties, issues, but hopefully people can forgive it, but still likes the attention. So another way of looking at it is like look at a celebrity that has a huge following. It's very similar to that. Because how do you know if any of these celebrities, just the Hollywood celebrities, just for example, how do you know none of them are not acting like God even right now? And some of them are. Not all of them, but some of them are. They're using their God complex towards others. And once they get connected to that, then they get pulled into that energy field, meaning that they're a god forever. They're always worshipped. So it gives you kind of an idea how this god energy works in some way. So many looked up to Marduk for assistance, and so Marduk continued on as a god throughout the ages. It just people connect to the energy of a god that they're familiar with. There are all kinds of god energies out there, but there's not just one god, there's several. Some of them are female, some of them are male. It might be depicted as a male, but some of them are actually female. So for many of you that are, yes, opening up your abilities, yes, how many gods do you see there? Do you see millions that are giving away their power to people, giving their power to millions of different gods? You're most likely not wrong there. It's just a war on humanity, and now will humanity want to hear this, that they're being deceived on many different levels? No, it's on how you say it. Not to talk down to people because they don't like that. Obviously, it doesn't really help. But basically, putting out your point of view and healing the consciousness there. It's, yes, very, because obviously the God energy is very personal. And people do want to have a better life. And not to say that God did not give them a better life in the past, but some of them, yes, these gods do get angry, though, especially when you go against them. Not that they might send you a negative energy. They might send you negative entities also. But you can say some of them want to be healed, meaning that they want to be exposed. Not that they're going to show themselves, but they might, meaning that you might hear a song or see an image or something that will, a synchronicity. Doesn't mean that they're going to just appear in the skies. They can, most likely they won't. Why would they do a thing like that? But they can easily could do that. They don't want to scare the people, but there are other synchronicities that you can develop to learn, because some of this, I mean, many of you came here for different reasons, and exposing the God, the false gods, which are many. But once again, to simplify it, look at the celebrities of the day. Those have been manufactured, and not to say the gods of the Anunnaki were not manufactured either, because many of them were. So basically, to sense this world as a great, powerful being, people looking up to it, that being lets it rain, it's, helping people with their abilities to a certain level, protecting them. And of course, people are going to remember that. And a lot of them have not incarnated here again, have dealt with actually these gods, but the family line is still here. And it's like, obey your leaders, the immortals. And that can also be in the bloodline itself. Of course, a lot of your elite channel beings all the time, or worship. But it is more open to them. It's like, if they're going to worship gods, why not your people? So some of you already are aware of those energies. Greetings you. So we are the consciousness of televangelists energies. Yes, to take the power away from people and give it to one individual. Well, this person feels like they should be blessed, they should be godlike to a certain level. They most likely will never reach the God level because they're too selfish to do so. God's going to be not selfish, but obviously these televangelists just want the power of everything. Yes, they're not really a soul. A lot of them are just soulless beings doing, yes, the work of the demonic realms. It's just, they're just a vessel. It's like a corporation of the televangelist person. It's basically, demonic realms found a way to control society. So why not? Well, they don't want to be revealed. The demonic realms do not want to be seen here. It's like they enjoy more of just controlling society, sucking the life out of society, making you have these hardships, because they learned from that. They enjoy testing humanity until humanity snaps out of this. And yes, some of you are going to that level of basically help them snap out of it. Will it be a war? Well, maybe a war of the mind, a war of ideas. Because some will feel like you're walking all over their world trying to destroy their world. Not that you're trying to do that. You're just basically saying that, do you want to be controlled for the rest of your life? And some will say yes, unfortunately. Or not answer at all. But when they don't answer, that means yes, usually. Well, they feel like, see, demonic beings that are here have become so sophisticated. They are parents, they're kids. They created your way of life, and you're here to heal those energies, break those timelines. Not an easy one either. Now, will they retaliate? Of course they will. Well, because this is their creation. This physical realm is where they are gods. God of materialism, God of gold, God of diamonds, jewelry, and you're here to reign on all of that. Well, basically, for humans to reconnect to the earth, to close down the demonic realms, well, to heal it, to understand it better, but not to have it possess half your population, which it is doing. And for you to have this new reality. Of course, it's not going to be easy. They're not going to give up without a fight. Of course, a lot of humans here are zombie-like, if you have not noticed. And that's even more difficult to heal. Zombie people can be very dangerous. It's like a zombie apocalypse. You have that version. You have your own zombies here. And obviously, when you go against their religion, they attack. So it's not like the movies where the person's decaying. Some of these zombies look very good health-wise, but also very vicious in their words. So you're dealing with a different type of zombie apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse of the beautiful people. Because some of them are a part of this program, are extremely beautiful. So that's the one thing about the zombie realities that they've kind of left out. They left out the attractiveness. That's how the demonic realm works. It works that it uses attractive people to control society. There's nothing wrong with attractive people, but many of them are used against you. As you heal those timelines, yes, it's a trickster reality you're in. It doesn't mean you cannot make it through it. They want to make you feel like you're not getting anywhere. Why are you here? Why are you wasting your time? Because a lot of beings feel that way. It's like, why are you on our planet? Why are you wasting our time? We don't need you here. We were doing fine before you came here. We don't need you here. And that's what some of you are feeling that. Because the beings that are controlling your reality do not want any of you here that's here to go against their system. So if you're going against their belief system, obviously that stings. Those are that built this reality. But you keep, just not to let go. It's hard because they really wanted to take, not even just dissolve you, shut you down. We're not trying to be negative here. We're just saying what they're trying to do. Thank you. So if you've experienced this already. So televangelist energies, basically televangelists, a lot of them are just soulless beings, basically. The soulless beings that can go on forever, keep wearing the same clothes, keep doing the same thing over and over again. As long as they got humanity under control, they've done their job. They get paid well, and then they go back into the system. They get devoured by it. And then they go into the war realms and start controlling that place. So it never really ends. Yes, as you come, some of you are going to have trouble believing all of this. You'll get used to it if you're here to get used to it. Many aren't, but some of you just, it's like, even those of you that are awakened, some of this is like a little bit heavy. It's like, man, just when you think you have this all figured out, at least to a certain level, then it just kind of pulls the life out of you sometimes. So yes, it's very stressful, but doesn't mean you have to concentrate on this subject matter, but just realize that it's there.